नमो भ- ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. Text 36. Kalena milita dhiya mama prasya narnam stuka yusam svanigamo bata durapara avirtastavan yugam sahi satyavatyam veda dhruvam vita pasho vibhajasit sma.
The Lord himself, in his incarnation as the son of Satyavati, Vyasadeva, will consider his compilation of the Vedic literature to be very difficult for the less intelligent persons with short life, and thus he will divide the tree of Vedic knowledge into different branches according to the circumstances of the particular age.
Text 37. Devadvisam nigama vartmani nistittanam Purbirmayena vihitabir adishriturbihi Lukang natamati vimoham ati pralobham Vesham vidaya babubasyat anupradhamyam.
When the atheists, after being well versed in the Vedic scientific knowledge, annihilate inhabitants of different planets, flying unseen in the sky on well-built rockets prepared by the great scientist Maya, the Lord will bewilder their minds by dressing himself attractively as Buddha and will preach on sub-religious principles.
Text 38. Yari alesva api satam nahare kathasyu pasandino dvija jana vrishala nirdevaha svasvadas pasaditi smagiruna yatra shasti bhavisyati kalir bhagavan yugante.
Thereafter, at the end of Kali Yuga, when there exist no topics on the subject of God, even at the residences of so-called saints and respectable gentlemen of the three higher castes, and when the power of government is transferred to the hands of ministers elected from the low-born Sudra class, or those less than them, and when nothing is known of the techniques of sacrifice, even by word, at that time the Lord will appear as the supreme chastiser.
Text 39. Sarge tapoham rasyo navaye prajase stanet dharma makaman vamansaha antetva dharma haramanya vasasturya maya vibhutya imo purushakti pajaha.
At the beginning of creation, there are penance, myself, Brahma, and the Prajapatis, the great sages who generate. Then, during the maintenance of the creation, there are Lord Vishnu, the demigods with controlling powers, and the kings of different planets. But at the end, there is irreligion, and then Lord Shiva and the atheists full of anger, etc. All of them are different representative manifestations of the energy of the supreme power, the Lord.
Text 40. Vishnu nuvirya gananam uttamoratha ya parthavanyi api kaviram vivam vimvrinhamsi Gachakskamba yasvarahasya kalata triprastam yasmatri samya sadanad urukampyanam.
Who can describe the prowess of Vishnu? Even the scientist who might have counted the particles of the atoms of the universe cannot do so, because it is he only who, in his form of Trivikrama, moved his leg effortlessly beyond the topmost planet, Satyalok, up to the neutral state of the three modes of material nature, and all were moved.
Text 41. Nantam vidami ahamami munagrajaste maya balasya purushasya kutavarye gayan gunandasa santanadi deva sheshodhunapi samavasyati nasya param.
Neither I nor all the sages born before you know fully the omnipotent personality of Godhead. So what can others who are born after us know about him? Even the first incarnation of the Lord, namely Shesha, has not been able to reach the limit of such knowledge, although he is describing the qualities of the Lord with 1,000 faces.
Text 42. Yesham sa esha bhagavan dayedanta ananta sarvatmanashrita padi yadi nirvakyalakam te dustaram atiranti cha devamayam nesha mahamham iti dhisvagralabakshe.
But anyone who is specifically favored by the Supreme Lord, the personality of Godhead, due to unalloyed surrender unto the service of the Lord, can overcome the insurmountable ocean of illusion and can understand the Lord. But those who are attached to this body, which is meant to be eaten at the end by dogs and jackals, cannot do so.
Text 43 to 45. Vedaham anga paramasya hi yugamayam yuyam bhavascha bhagavanatha detyavrayaha patni manosa cha manuscha tadat atmajascha prachatina barhir raburangata druvascha ishvakurela mukunda dividegadi ragavambarisha sagar gayana husdaya mandhataralarka satantan manudranti dev Deva vrato belir amurtarayo dilipa. Sobaryav tankas videva piplada sarvasta dova parashara burusena. Yenye vibeshena hanumat upendrata pathashtistena vidusruta devaryaha.
O Narada, although the potencies of the Lord are unknowable and immeasurable, still, because we're all surrendered souls, we know how he acts through Yoga Maya potencies. And similarly, the potencies of the Lord are also known to the all-powerful Shiva, the great king of the atheist family, namely Prahlad Maharaj.
So we just need the screen to be lifted up a bit. Thank you.
Svayambhuva Manu, his wife Satarupa, his sons and daughters like Priyavrata, Uttanapada, Akuti, Devahuti, and Prashuti, Prachinarpahi, Ripu, Anga the father of Vena, Maharaj Dhruva, Ikshvavaku, Aila, Muchukunda, Maharaj Janaka, Gadi, Raghu, Ambarisha, Sagara, Gaya, Nahusha, Mandata, Alarka, Satatanve, Anu, Rantidev, Bhisma, Bali, Amuttaraya, Dilipa, Sopari, Utanka, Sibi, Devala, Pipilad, Sarasvata, Uddhava, Parasha, Burishina, Vibhisana, Hanuman, Sakudev Goswami, Arjuna, Arstishena, Vidura, Shrutadev, etc.
Text 46. Deve Vedanti Atiranti cha Devamayam Sri Sudrahuna Sabra Pipapa Jivaha Yadya Bhuta Krama Prayana Sila Shikshas Triyag Jana Api Kim Yustruta Dharanye.
Surrendered souls, even from groups leading sinful lives, such as women, the laborer class, the mountaineers, and the Siberians, or even the birds and beasts, can also know about the science of Godhead and become liberated from the clutches of the illusory energy by surrendering unto the pure devotees of the Lord and by following in their footsteps in devotional service.
Text 47. Shashvat Prashantam Abhayam Pratibodhamatram Sudam Samam Sadasta Paratmam Tattvam Sabdona Yatra Purukarakvan Kriyartho Maya Parati Abhimukhecha Vilajmana Tadve Padam Bhagavata Paramasya Pumso Brahmeti Yadvidur Ajasra Sukam Vishokam.
What is realized as the absolute Brahman is full of unlimited bliss without grief. That is certainly the ultimate phase of the supreme enjoyer, the personality of Godhead. He is eternally void of all disturbances and is fearless. He is complete consciousness as opposed to matter, uncontaminated and without distinctions. He is the principal primeval cause of all causes and effects, in whom there is no sacrifice for fruitive activities, and in whom the illusory energy does not stand.
Text 48. Sadyanniyamya yatyato yamakatitim jayusvarad iva nipanakin kantiramindraha.
In such a transcendental state, there is no need of artificial control of the mind, mental speculation, or meditation, as performed by the jnanis and yogis. One gives up such processes, and as the heavenly king Indra forgoes the trouble to dig a well.
Text 49. Shashre-shamapi vibhur bhagavan yatosya bhava svabha vihitasya sata prasiddhi dehe svadatu vigamene vastramane vyome vatatra purusho navashriyate jaha.
The personality of Godhead is the supreme master of everything auspicious, because the results of whatever actions are performed by the living being in either the material or spiritual existence are awarded by the Lord. As such, he is the ultimate benefactor. Every individual living entity is unborn, and therefore, even after the annihilation of the material elementary body, the living entity exists, exactly like the air within the body.
Text 50. Soyam te bhitastata bhagavan vishva bhavana shamasena harirnanyad anyasmat sadasachayat.
My dear son, I have now explained in brief the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is creator of the manifested worlds. Without him, Hari the Lord, there are no other causes of the phenomenal and nominal existences.
Text 51. Idam bhagavatam nama yanme bhagavato ditam sangrahoyam vibhutinam tvam etad vipuli kuru.
O Narada, this science of God, Srimad Bhagavatam, was spoken to me in summary by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and it was spoken as the accumulation of his diverse potencies. Please expand the science yourself.
Text 52. Yatha harao bhagavati nirnam bhaktir bhavisyati sarvatmani akhila dare iti sankalpya varnaya.
Please describe the science of Godhead with determination and in a manner by which it will be quite possible for the human being to develop transcendental devotional service unto the personality of Godhead Hari, the super soul of every living being and the summum bonum source of all energies.
Text 53. Mayam varnyato musya ishvarasya namubdata srinavata shadaya nityam mayatma namoyati.
The Lord's activities, in association with his different energies, should be described, appreciated, and heard in accordance with the teachings of the Supreme Lord. If this is done regularly with devotion and respect, one is sure to get out of the illusory energy of the Lord. Hare Krishna. Thank you for the opportunity to recite.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, everyone. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, both Mataji and Prabhuji, for reciting so wonderfully. Can you all hear me?
Yes, Mataji, Hare Krishna.
So
I don't know, video is not...
someone is not muted, I think.
Hmm?
I think there was someone who wasn't muted, but I think everyone's muted. We should be able to hear you, Mataji.
Oh, I don't know why I'm not able to... Can you see me or no?
Yes, Mataji, we can see you. Can you hear us?
Oh, Yeah, I can.
Okay, we can see some wires now.
Huh?
We can't see you. Are you sharing your screen? We can see, I think,
Yeah, I put
either a carpet or something.
I don't know what's the matter. Why am I not able to? Video is there. I put it on. I'm not able to.
Yeah, but there's some kind of wires or something and a carpet or something.
Oh, is that? Oh, sorry. So it must be on the reverse side. Okay.
Yeah, if you reverse it, we can see you.
Yeah. So let me see, Mataji. Let me see the. How do I? Oh, yes. Okay.
Yes, we can see you now.
But I can't. That's okay. As long as you'll see me, that's all right.
Yeah.
Krishna, sorry. Please accept my humble obeisance, everyone. Oh, everyone. Today we're going to, I think, just read about verses 43 to 46. Yeah.
Yeah.
So before we start, shall I just do the invocation prayers, if that's okay? We'll do the prayers first and then. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jai Shri Krishna Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Jai Shri Krishna. Thank you, dear devotees. So today, the only two verses which we need to do. So I was wondering if anybody would volunteer to just to read those. They're simple verses with the Sanskrit and the English, and then we can do both of them together, and then we can just go for the. Then I'll start talking. Is that
Mataji,
okay?
would you like me to share the screen, you mean? Or are
Yeah,
you
you can share, and somebody else
Yeah.
can quickly read it. That's okay, Mataji.
Yes, okay.
Thank you. Thank you. I think, is it not working, Mataji?
I'm sharing the screen.
Oh, I can't see, that's what.
Oh, sorry. So it's text 43 to 45. That's one, which is a very big, long one. And then we have 46. So two, like you said.
Yeah, if somebody,
I
would
can't
somebody
see
want
my
to read the
screen. Can
translation?
anyone see my screen?
I can see your screen, Mataji.
Okay, so Mamta,
some-
I don't know, you can't see my screen?
It's okay, Mataji. I have my own computer, so it's all right.
Ah,
If
okay.
somebody can read, that'll be great.
Okay.
You can just read the translation and the purport, that'll be fine. Others, I'll read it. It's okay.
Okay, shall I
Oh,
read?
Narada. Yes, please, Mataji.
Okay,
Thank you.
translation. O Narada, although the potencies of the Lord are unknowable and immeasurable, still, because we are all surrendered souls, we know how he acts through Yogamaya potencies. And similarly, the potencies of the Lord are also known to the all-powerful Shiva, the great king of the atheist family, namely Prarad Maharaj, Swayambhuva Manu, his wife Satarupa, his sons and daughters like Priyavrata, Uttanapada, Akuti, Devahuti, and Prasuti, Prachi, Nabarhi, Ribu, Anga, the father of Vena, Maharaj Dhruva, Iksvaku, Ela, Muchukunda, Maharaj Janaka, Gandhi, Raghu, Ambarisha, Sagar, Gaya, Nahusa, Mandata, Alarka, Satadanve, Anu, Rantidevi, Bhishma, Bali, Amurtaraya, Dilipa, Saubhari, Utanka, Sibi, Devala, Pipalada, Sarasvata, Uddhava, Parasara, Bhurisena, Vibhishan, Hanuman, Sukadeva Goswami, Arjuna, Arstisena, Vidura, Shrutadeva, etc. Puppet. All the great devotees of the Lord, as mentioned above, who flourished in the past or present, and all the devotees of the Lord who will come in the future, are aware of the different potencies of the Lord along with the potencies of his name, quality, pastimes, entourage, personality, etc. And how do they know? Certainly, it is not by mental speculation, nor by any attempt by dint of limited instruments of knowledge. By the limited instruments of knowledge, either the senses or material instruments like microscopes and telescopes, one cannot even fully know the Lord's material potencies, which are manifested before our eyes. For example, there are many millions and billions of planets far, far beyond the scientist's calculation. But these are only the manifestations of the Lord's material energy. What can the scientist hope to know of the spiritual potency of the Lord by such material efforts? Mental speculations, by adding some dozens of ifs and maybes, cannot aid the advancement of knowledge. On the contrary, such mental speculations will only end in despair by dismissing the case abruptly and declaring the non-existence of God. The sane person, therefore, ceases to speculate on subjects beyond the jurisdiction of his tiny brain, and as a matter of course, he tries to learn to surrender unto the Supreme Lord, who alone can lead one to the platform of real knowledge. In the Upanishads, it is clearly said that the Supreme Personality of Godhead can never be known simply by working very hard and taxing the good brain, nor can he be known simply by mental speculation and jugglery of words. The Lord is knowable only by one who is a surrendered soul. Herein, Brahmaji, the greatest of all material living beings, acknowledges this truth. Therefore, the fruitless spoiling of energy by pursuing the path of experimental knowledge must be given up. One should gain knowledge by surrendering unto the Lord and by acknowledging the authority of the persons mentioned herein. The Lord is unlimited and, by the grace of Yogamaya, helps the surrendered soul to know Him proportionally with the advance of one's surrender. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. There's the other verse is also very tiny. So if somebody can read off, then we can do all together. Is that okay? Or I
Hare
can read.
Krishna, Mataji.
Please, Mataji, please read. Thank you.
Translation: Surrendered souls, even from groups leading sinful lives, such as women, the labor class, and the mountaineers, and the Siberians, or even the birds and beasts, can also know about the science of Godhead and become liberated from the clutches of the illusionary energy by surrendering unto the pure devotees of the Lord and by following in their footsteps in devotional service. Purport: Sometimes there are inquiries as to how one can surrender unto the Supreme Lord. In the Bhagavad Gita 18.66, the Lord asks Arjuna to surrender unto him, and therefore persons unwilling to do so questions where God is and to whom they should surrender. The answer to such questions or inquiries is given herein very properly. The personality of Godhead may not be present before one's eyes, but if one is sincere in wanting such guidance, the Lord will send a bona fide person who can guide one properly back home, back to Godhead. There is no need of material qualifications for making progress on the path of spiritual realization. In the material world, when one accepts some particular type of service, he is required to possess some particular type of qualifications also. Without this, one is unfit for such service. But in devotional service of the Lord, the only qualification required is surrender. Surrendering oneself is in one's own hands. If one likes, he can surrender immediately, without delay, and that begins his spiritual life. The bona fide representative of God is as good as God himself. Or in other words, the loving representative of the Lord is more kind and more easy to approach. A sinful soul cannot approach the Lord directly, but such a sinful man can very easily approach a pure devotee of the Lord. And if one agrees to put himself under the guidance of such a devotee of the Lord, he can also understand the science of God and can also become like the transcendental pure devotee of the Lord, and thus get his liberation back to Godhead, back home for eternal happiness. So realization of the science of Godhead and relief from the unnecessary, useless struggle for existence are not at all difficult for the willing candidate, but they're very difficult for persons who are not surrendered souls, but only simple, profitless speculators.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare
Thank you
Krishna.
so much, please. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for reading the purports and the verses. So basically in this 43 to 45 verse, we heard Lord Brahma. So this whole chapter is basically a conversation between Brahma and Narada. And they're trying to, Brahmaji is trying to tell how Lord has come into this world and what's the role of that, why Lord has come in different forms. And from verse 1 till the whole chapter, that is what some of the 3 or 4 verses to relate to one Avatara, and the many, many avatars in which Lord comes in different incarnations, only to liberate the souls, you know. And over here, the Brahmaji tells about so many personalities of here. All of them from Shiva, from Maharaja Prahlada, from Swayambhavu, Manu, Satarupa. Lots of all these are great personalities. And how, I mean, basically how we can never ever measure and know the potency of the Lords, no? So over here, even though if Lord is just trying to, I mean, Brahmaji is trying to say that with the material minds and material knowledge, we will never be able to find out the real potency of the Lord. It can never happen. I mean, we can never do it. And we can only understand little bit if only if we surrender to the Lord. And with the mercy of the Lord, when we surrender, then with the mercy of the Lord will, only if He wants to, will reveal to us. And then only we can understand the knowledge which comes out from there. So over here, Lord talks about the Maya, by the grace of Yoga Maya. Now, everybody who surrenders, you know, not everybody can get a thing of the Lord. It's again by the grace of this Yoga Maya who take us to the Lord, you know, take us to the Lord. So I wanted to talk a bit about this Yoga Maya and the Maya thing. But I think the next verse, if I say quickly, like again, over here, the next verse in the gist, it says that all the sinful beings, you know, everybody, whoever in this material world, we can never attain liberation by ourselves or by directly praying to Krishna, but we have, because the only way we can reach the Lord is by going through one of His devotees, or like a spiritual master, one of His pure devotees, because He can be kind and He can liberate us, make us go towards the Godhead. And that is again by the mercy of the Lord and also by the mercy of Maya. So just quickly going into this whole chapter once, right? You can see from text 1 till text 44 how Brahma is telling to Narad. Lord Brahma is telling to Narada about how Lord comes in the form of a boar, and then as Prajapati, as Indra, and how each form, you know, each form, how they relieve and how they cause liberation. So first thing is, I think Indra Deva comes. First thing is, we have Varaha Avatar over there, how they try to relieve the Mother Earth, yeah, by killing Hiranyaksha. And then the text 2, it is how Indra, how the birth of Indra takes place and how he relieves the miseries of the universes. And that time, Swayambhuva Manu calls him as Hari. So, and also next is Kapila Deva, how Kapila Deva will try to liberate Mother through all telling about the whole knowledge. And then the next one comes Dattatreya, he'll try to relieve lots of Yadus. And then we have again the Sanat Kumaras, all the 4 Kumaras will come, Sanaka, Sanatana, Sanadana, and Sanandana, and Sanat Kumara. They will try to revive the truth which was lost for the sages. And then we have the Nara and Narayana. They come and then they try to liberate. Then the mention of Lord Shiva over here. Lord Shiva can, with his wrathful glances, he can overcome lust and vanquish everything. But I think with the wrath, he can never enter into the heart of the Lord. So where there is lust or where there is anger, you can never go near the Lord. But Lord Shiva is one of the greatest devotees of Lord Vishnu. Then they talk about how Dhruva, how there's a Dhruva planet, how he attains Dhruva planet, and which is worshipped by all the sages. And then we have Maharaja Veena, where the Lord comes as son Prithu and delivers him from hell. And then we have Rishabhadeva, who brings in yoga, which is to balance the agitated mind. And then we have Lord comes in the form of Hayagriva, where he's personified with Vedas, you know, with his sweet sounds. you get the essence of Vedas. And then the first avatar, which we have incarnations of Vishnu over here, like which we tell Das avatars. And the end of the millennium in the Vaivasvata Manu, we have the fish, the first incarnation, Matsya avatar. And from there, from Brahma's mouth, the Vedas come out, and then the Lord protects the Vedas. And then we have the Kurma avatar, where the Devas and the Asuras fight, and then all the jewels come out from the ocean. Then we have Narsimha avatar and Prahlad Maharaj. And then we have the Gajendra Moksha. Gajendra, where God comes and helps Gajendra. And then we have the Vamana avatar. And then where with Bali Maharaj, how Bali Maharaj gets liberation. And then Hamsa avatar, where the Lord comes in the form of Hamsa avatar and he teaches Narada about devotional service. And then Dhanvantari avatar, and then Parshurama, Rama, and then we have Krishna, who comes himself in all his pastimes. Lord Krishna comes down himself and gives all the pastime. And then Vyasadeva, gets all these the devotional knowledge, and he distributes it to everyone for the common man. And then as Lord comes as Buddha, when lots of religious activities happen, then he comes to reduce the religious activities. And then the last one is the Kalki avatar, which is will come at the end of the millennium. And then after that, again, the Lord Brahma is trying to say about how all of these things, if there's always, Lord has always come to liberate people, to liberate things, and to bring goodness into this world. Now, the mention of always, now what is, how does a devotee ever become close to the God, and what are the factors which help in becoming close to the God? So these are all great souls. You should remember that all these people who always take part in the pastimes of the Lord, they are all great souls, and they all come down to the earth with the help of Yogamaya. And so Yogamaya, who is Yogamaya? So Yogamaya is basically the internal potency of the Lord. So the Maya, they have two different forms of Maya, which we all know. One is Yogamaya and one is Mahamaya. So the Yogamaya is the internal potency of the Lord, and we call it as the even Radharani or the Radhani Shakti, the pure Shakti of the Lord. And Mahamaya is a partial expansion of the Yogamaya, which is again we call as the material potency, material, which basically rules over the material world. So Yogamaya rules over the spiritual world, and Mahamaya rules over the material world. So Mahamaya usually bewilders or puts people in illusion to the materialistic people. But Yogamaya never ever comes towards the materialistic people, because Yogamaya is very pure. She will never come to anyone who's impure. And we all are marginal energies, so we can't, it's very difficult for us to be with Yogamaya. But however, Yogamaya will try to help you if you are going in the right direction, basically. If you are surrendered unto Lord, and if you're going closer to Krishna, she'll help you go more and more closer to Krishna to serve him. But if you're forgetting Krishna, then that is because of Mahamaya. So Mahamaya will take you more into the material, but it's like, okay, if you do not follow the rules of the law of the laws of the country, then obviously you'll be put into jail. And then in the jail, like suppose if you're doing a little bit of good work, then the jailer will say, okay, I'll reduce your sentence, and then you can go out. But suppose if you don't do the good work, then you say, okay, your time has not yet come back to the jail now. So like that way, I think Mahamaya is controlling the whole materialistic materialistic world. So that's where this is the Maya, which Sri Prabhupada always tells that this is Maya, we are really illusioned. So the only way how we can get over this Maya is by surrendering to the Lord and doing devotional service. So if you do devotional service to the Lord, by all this Krishna consciousness, by actually going to Krishna consciousness itself, is basically Yogamaya will try to help you more and more. But if you go to the more materialistic life, then Mahamaya will help you. She said, okay, you can come and stay with me for a longer time. You can be my guest. That's what Mahamaya will tell. So in this, in the whole, what it also says, so all the personalities in the Vaikuntha planet or in the spiritual kingdom who are there come down to the earth with the help of Yogamaya, so that they can have, they can be part. They want to be part in the pastimes of Lord Krishna. So all the gopis, Yashoda, Maya, Nandaj, all the characters you will see who are associated with Lord Krishna, all the sages, all anything you associate with Lord Krishna, they have come down with the help of Yogamaya. So they are Srila Prabhupada tries to explain that Yogamaya is the internal potency that makes the Lord forget himself. So why does Yogamaya come actually basically also? So that to make Lord not look like the spiritual Lord, but make him look more simpler, so that we can associate with him or other people can associate with him. So he can become an object of love for his pure devotee. And in the different transcendental activities. So Yogamaya is basically from spiritual continent. And that is Mahamaya is mostly of the material content, as I said. So Yogamaya means, again, in Prabhupada says in one of his letters, to Aniruddha, Yogamaya means it's the mercy of the Supreme Lord, and which connects with the devotee. So yoga means as to connect. So this Maya helps in connecting the devotee to the Lord. And whoever does any service to the Lord in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. Whereas Mahamaya is the external potency of the Lord, which puts a conditioned soul into illusion. That because whenever a person, conditioned soul, is happy with himself, all the more Maya is there with them. So if they're more happy with this materialistic life, then Mahamaya helps them to be more in the materialistic realm. And Yogamaya is again is permanent in the spiritual world, whereas Mahamaya is temporary. Okay, and Srila Prabhupada also says in one of his lectures in Seattle, he says that Yogamaya means that which connects you. Yeah, which we said before, but Yogamaya, the original Yogamaya is Krishna's internal potency, that is Radharani. Whereas Mahamaya is Durga Devi. So any of the pastimes which we hear about Krishna is by the arrangement of Yogamaya. So always remember this, Maya is the main thing who will be controlling everything. So whenever you see Krishna will sleep, then Yogamaya comes and makes him go to sleep. So Yogamaya is there always, part and parcel of Krishna. So when they say like, so all the inhabitants of Vaikuntha, who are completely spiritual, people say, how come they have come down? Have they fallen down? Or have they been cursed that they come to a materialistic world? It is not so, but it is the arrangement of the Yogamaya, so that they can take part in the pastimes of the Lord. And so what happens is when we are surrendered to the Lord, and when Yogamaya sees that you are progressing in your Krishna consciousness, So Yogamaya will try to help you to go more towards the Krishna consciousness. So that is where the role of Yogamaya comes over here. So she's part and parcel of, even though we are materialistic people, but Krishna will always try to help you. So we say, when you basically, when you go more and more into Krishna consciousness, more and more things will be revealed. And that is mostly by Yogamaya. It will be revealed, more and more things about Krishna will be revealed. And that is, Krishna will only be revealed through the Maya, Yogamaya. And so so again, he explains very nicely of here, Srila Prabhupada, we're trying to say, so Maya is always acting upon you. So the one Maya which is dragging you towards Krishna is the Yogamaya, and the one which is pushing you opposite way is the Mahamaya. So as we said, so if you're progressing in Krishna consciousness, then Yogamaya helps you. But if you're forgetting Krishna, then Mahamaya will help you in forgetting Krishna. If you start forgetting Krishna, she'll give more and more obstacles for you, so that you can forget more and more. Unless you're a pure devotee, then you'll remember Krishna in the time of difficulties. Otherwise, people don't even remember Krishna. So again, there's so much of repetition about how Yogamaya is the internal potency and Mahamaya is the external potency. And they were given examples of how, for example, when Krishna comes to fight with Shalva, on a Garuda, he comes to fight with Salva. Then what happens? Salva will not think Krishna as the Lord himself. He thinks him to be like, even though Krishna's Garuda, so one of his associates, like his main Vahana is there, but he associates with that. That is because Mahamaya comes over there, so he will bewilder him. Same thing when Duryodhana is also, when he's shown the universal form, he will not at all believe it. Still, he doesn't believe Krishna to be God. Whereas Bhishma believes Krishna to be God, all the Pandavas believe Krishna to be God, but he would not. So he was under the influence of Mahamaya. And that's why he would not be able to understand Krishna at all, because he was quite materialistic in his whatever his doings. Whereas when we look at how we have the gopis of Braja. So when the gopis of Braja are in association with Krishna, and then Yogamaya comes and helps over there so that they can associate with Krishna. Whereas when we look at the things, when Yashoda Maya will try to see the whole universe in the mouth of Lord Sri Krishna, then they say, so that Maya is basically, we call that as more of prema. Prema is more of vatsalya, this thing. So even though in some places they say it is Yoga Maya, but some places it's described as where Nanda Maharaj also goes, it was taken away by Varuna when the people of the Varuna Desh, they will be actually praying to Krishna because they think he's a godhead, but Nanda Maharaj will not be able to see Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He will try to see him as his own child because of his Vatsalya Bhava, because of his parental love. So that is because of Prema, they say, or Mohana or Prema. That's why they will not be able to see Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But there are so many incidences where Yogamaya always comes and assists the pure devotees. So over here, a couple of things I wanted to say. So in Bhagavad Gita 7.25, where it says, Naham prakasha sarvasya yogamaya samarvitaha mudhoyam nabhijanati loko mam ajam avyayam. So Lord Krishna, he says, like, I am never manifest to the foolish and unintelligent. For them, I am covered by my internal potency, and therefore they do not know that I am unborn and infallible. So over here, Krishna is again, it might be a bit confusing to say that Krishna is again talking about Yogamaya over here all the time, and he covers up. So what they say normally, Krishna is the transcendental form of Krishna is covered by Yogamaya, and that is covered by the Brahma Jyotir. So when they want to see Krishna, so all these layers have to come out, then only they can see the true form of Krishna. And that can only be seen by a true devotee. So you can't really, a person who is not a pure devotee will not be able to see this form of Krishna. And over here, Srila Prabhupada will try to say over here to in the prayers of Kunti in Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said that the Lord is covered by the curtain of Yogamaya, and thus ordinary people cannot understand him. This Yogamaya curtain is also confirmed in Ishopanishad mantra, in which the devotee prays, Hiranmayena patrena satyasthapihitam mukham tattvam pushan apavrino satya dharmaya drishtaye. O my Lord, you are the maintainer of the entire universe, and devotional service to you is the highest religious principle. Therefore, I pray that you will also maintain me. Your transcendental form is covered by the Yogamaya. The Brahma Jyotir is the covering of the internal potency. May you kindly remove this glowing effulgence that impedes my seeing your Satchitananda Vigraha, your eternal form of bliss and knowledge. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, in his transcendental form of bliss and knowledge, is covered by the internal potency of the Brahma Jyotir, and the less intelligent impersonalists cannot see the Supreme on this account. So Maya is always surrounding Krishna, wherever you go. So you will not be able to do without the Maya. So over here, it says over here again, in the Narada Pancharatra, where Mahamaya is a partial expansion of Yogamaya. And the Narada Pancharatra clearly states that the Supreme Personality has one potency, which is sometimes described as Durga. So the Brahma Samhita says, Chaiva yasya bhuvanani vibharti Durga. Durga is not different from Yogamaya. When one understands Durga properly, he is immediately liberated. For Durga is originally the spiritual potency, Radhini Shakti, by whose mercy one can understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead very easily. Radha Krishna Pranaya Vritritir Radhini Shaktis Asmad. The Mahamaya Shakti, however, is a covering of Yogamaya, and she is therefore called the covering potency. By this covering potency, the entire material world is bewildered. In conclusion, bewildering the conditioned souls and liberating the devotees are both functions belonging to Yogamaya. So transferring the pregnancy of Devaki. So again, example of how Devaki pregnancy and keeping Mother Yashoda in deep sleep were both done by Yogamaya. Mahamaya cannot act upon such pure devotees, for they are always liberated. But although it is not possible for Mahamaya to control liberated souls or the Supreme Personality of Godhead, she did bewilder. So the action of Yogamaya in presenting herself before Kamsa was the action of Mahamaya, not Yogamaya. Yogamaya cannot even see or touch such polluted persons as Kamsa. In Chandi, in the Markandeya Purana, 11th chapter, Mahamaya says, during the 28th Yuga, in the period of Vaivasvata Manu, I shall take birth as the daughter of Yashoda and be known as Vindhyachala Vasini. So they say the distinction between the two Mayas, Yogamaya and Mahamaya, is described over here. It says Krishna's Rasa Leela with the gopis and the gopis' bewilderment in respect to the husbands, father-in-laws, and other such relatives were arrangements of Yogamaya. in which Mahamaya doesn't have any influence at all. So, on the other hand, when you see the Asuras headed by Salva and Kshatriyas like Duryodhana, were bereft of devotional services. So people who do not have devotional services, in spite of seeing Krishna's carrier Garuda and the universal form, they could not understand Krishna to be the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This was also bewilderment, but this bewilderment was due to Mahamaya. Therefore, it is to be concluded that Maya, which drags a person from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is called from the Supreme Personality, okay, is called Jadamaya or the Mahamaya. And the Maya which acts on the transcendental platform is called Yoga Maya. So again, they give the example of when Nanda Maharaj was taken away by Varuna, he saw Krishna's opulence, but he thought Krishna as his son. So such feelings of parental love in spiritual world are acts of Yoga Maya, not of Jada Maya or Mahamaya. So this is again Srila. So there's a bit of mixture of different places. They get different opinions. So that's where sometimes they say this is Yoga Maya, sometimes they say Mahamaya. But we should understand that Mahamaya is a partial expression of Yoga Maya. So that is why always people get mixed up. But so Yoga Maya is called as Amsi and Yoga Mahamaya is called as Amsha. So Amshi is the whole part, and whereas Amsha is part of this Yoga Maya. So this is what I wanted to today talk about, just a little bit about Yoga Mahamaya, but I'm sure most of you will know more of the things. So I think these two verses which were over there, they basically they are trying to say, Srila Prabhupada is trying to say that sinful people who are not devotional, they can still be liberated by actually surrendering unto the Lord and then following a pure devotee of the Lord who will help us go back to Godhead. And the other, the 43 to 45 is just narrating all the names of the pure devotees who had helped in the pastimes of the Lord and who were also liberated. So with this, I think I will stop over here and I will keep the floor open. Please forgive me for my mistakes, and any corrections or anything please want to add, please help me. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Thank you for a lovely class. Thank you. It's really surprising. I'm confused really because everything that says Maha points to Krishna.
No, yoga. Yoga is Krishna.
Yeah, yoga, bhakti yoga is Krishna. And
Yoga Maya. Yoga Maya is related to the spiritual realm.
yeah, but when we address Maha, when we address Krishna, like Maha Prasad, Maha everything, Maha this, Maha that, it's always to the Lord, isn't it?
Yeah, Maha Prasad is something. Maha is big in that. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you can call this as Jadamaya also. Jadamaya is something which is the Mahamaya, which you call it as Maha. But Maha that is different, Mataji. That Maha and this Maha you should not mix up.
Yeah,
So,
but that's why I'm confused because I've never heard that before. Yeah, I never heard this verse before. So yeah, and I'm just wanting to clarify it.
Maha comes in the way, makes Maha Prasad. How we say when we go to temples, this is the Maha Prasadness which is given to the devotee, to the Lord, the whole pure Prasad which we offer, and then with the one which you have offered to the Lord. So from there, if you take a small piece, because this is the Maha, this is the Maha, and now how we always, so we're so used to not using the whole name. We always have got short names, like, yeah, and that's where they started saying that Maha, but it's supposed to be big, or Maha is supposed to be pure in that way. So Mahamaya, again, I can understand your confusion, Mataji. When both the Maha comes, then your Mahamaya comes something different, and that comes something different. So I don't know, I'll leave it open to the floor if somebody can. I don't know whether Shailesh Prabhu or somebody can add. Or
yes,
anybody.
please. Yes, thank you.
I don't think anybody is there, but anything
Hare
else?
Krishna, Mamta Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Prabhupada. Just want to share my understanding. So, Mahamaya is working under Krishna's
So
directions
Sundari
as well.
Mataji, right?
Yes, Sundari.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
So my understanding is Mahamaya is servant of Krishna, but she's looking after the material side of Krishna's material creation. But she is servant of Krishna. She is not servant of material creation. She's serving Krishna by looking
Yeah.
after the material world. So
Yeah.
she
So,
is a
I mean,
great devotee of Krishna.
Absolutely. So Yogamaya is the internal potency, and
Yes.
Mahamaya is a partial expansion of Yogamaya. So internal potency
Yeah,
of
but
Krishna.
the both
All
both
are part
Mayas
and parcel
are
of
servant
Krishna.
of Krishna.
Yes.
Yeah.
All are part and parcels of Krishna. Then
Yeah.
what I'm trying to say is over here, in the material world, so what happens is when the Mahamaya, which is the material energy, right, which we have,
Yeah.
Mahamaya, when we are going away from Krishna, then Mahamaya bewilders you more and more. Okay.
Yeah.
So you have to really go be. So it's like if you have detached yourself from all the materialistic things, then you're going towards more and more towards devotional service of Krishna. Then Yogamaya will try to help you to serve Krishna more. So that is where it comes, Yogamaya.
Yeah,
This is what
so
Sri Prabhupada is explaining in all the verses like that. But actually, when you go over there, it can be very confusing. But over there, when anything, Yogamaya is always seen with pure devotional, pure devotees. You know, we are not pure devotees; we're all mixed over there. So obviously, it is very rare for us to see Yogamaya. Very, very rare for us to see Yogamaya because we are all in the materialistic realm. But once Yogamaya sees that we are going towards the Krishna, that is what Srila Prabhupada is trying to explain. Yogamaya will drag you towards Krishna. That's what he says.
perfect. Yeah, thank you.
And whereas if you're forgetting Krishna, Mahamaya will push you away from Krishna. That's what he's trying to explain over there. But they're all part and parcels, and everything in this world, is part and parcel of Krishna, and part and parcel of the potency of Krishna is mean Yogamaya, and from Yogamaya comes again we have Mahamaya is again partial expansion of Mahamaya.
So Mahamaya, Hare Krishna. So thank you for your explanation, Mataji, both of you.
Thank you.
Mahamaya is like a go-between from Maya then and Krishna, because even Maya is Krishna's servant.
Yes, everybody is part and parcel.
So like it's like a deputy in a way.
Yes.
So
Mahamaya is given like how Krishna has given Indra to rule the heavens, okay, and Varuna to look after water,
Yeah.
And you have how the wind and the fire and all. Everybody is given a role to do,
Yes.
The same way, Krishna has told Mahamaya to look after the materialistic world, So she's the superintendent, basically. She'll be looking after all the people, all the materialistic creatures or whatever materialistic realms.
Yeah. Haribo.
So we are all under her influence most of the time. Because we are so much, we are very conditioned. See, all the conditions.
But when we Krishna gives us free will anyway, and we choose whether we take to Yogamaya or Mahamaya. So why do we need this yoga?
No, Mataji, free will he gives you, but that is where the whole problem is, So if you do not choose, it is your choice which path you take, And that is like we don't even remember.
So you don't need what I'm trying to say. We don't need Mahamaya to push us to the wrong direction. We have that choice to go or not to go.
Well, you won't remember because all is all conditioned. You're conditioned.
Yeah.
What do you know what you have done yesterday or day before yesterday? It's so difficult to remember every detail of it, right?
Yeah.
And what to talk about how many lifetimes, how we were and where we were. So Yoga Maya's main thing is to get you to Godhead in a way. Get all of us back to Godhead. That is that's all part and parcel of Krishna. Like how we say Krishna wants us to go back to Godhead. But this is the energy. So all these energies we're talking about and how we feel. It's slightly a bit complicated, but every time this thing comes out, so I thought maybe I could just open it up. Of course, it's a complicated, very complex topic. So
It is, yeah.
and
Because
I really want to
too
find a
many
place.
Mayas.
Yeah, I've just taken only small pieces here and there, Mataji, but I really want to find a place where I can read about the whole creation of how the Mayas happen and how the energies happen. There are lots of things, but all in pieces here and there. So it needs a lot of research to sit and I think,
Yeah.
I don't know when we can sit and do. Then maybe at some time in the future, I might be able to discuss a bit more in detail, maybe. If I get a little bit of knowledge, that is Krishna's mercy.
Haribol.
Very well, thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. So if we are done, then maybe you should be end the thing, Mataji's. Or are there any more things and somebody can add on?
But sorry, I couldn't respond earlier. I was doing service. I was listening,
Yes,
but
Prabhuji, we were
couldn't
wanting
respond.
your input.
Yeah, so you asked just a question where you can find out that the CC has a very detailed, elaborate explanation of all of Krishna's energies in the Adi Leela. The first volume, there is a very detailed description of all of Krishna's energies. There are umpteen energies, and it's a very complex section because it talks about a lot of the internal potencies, external potencies, etc., all the roles that each of the Mayas have. There are actually 16 potencies, and there's quite a lot of detail. I'll find out the exact chapter for you, and I'll send that to you because it's been some time that I read it, a long time ago. But there's a very detailed explanation of all of the all the Maya Shaktis, and all of the internal and external potencies of the Lord. It's a very enlightening section, very complex, because you can get quite bewildered by it all. But it is a beautiful section.
Sure, Prabhuji, I will. I'm just going through this. I mean, it might be a different because it doesn't say as it gives expansions of Lord Nityananda, expansions of Advaita Acharya, the other it says. But maybe I have to find out. If you send me,
I'll send it. I'll put it on the link, and people can then read it if they're so interested.
Sure, Prabhuji.
Thank you.
Anything your input, Prabhuji, for today? I don't know, you're doing a service, but
I won't be able to talk very much more now, unfortunately. So I'll give you that reference point.
no worries, Prabhuji, no worries. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Anybody? Okay, so should we end today's lesson then? Chapter?
Thank you, Mataji. Yes.
Thank you,
Krishna.
Mataji. So let's say the
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhu
Patitana
pavanebhyo
Vaishnavebhyo Namaha.
Hare Krishna. Vishnu
Ki
Jai. Srila
Jai.
Prabhupada ki Jai.
Jai.
Hari Hari Bol.
Thank you very much
Thank you.
for wonderful class, Mataji.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hari Bol.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hari Bol.
Thank you, Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you.
Thank
you,
you,
Mataji.
Mataji.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.